Okay, the reality is if you're meeting someone important, you've exchanged emails with them and they already have an opinion about you. Like it or not, your email is a reflection of you. So do it well, have an approach, develop a personal style. I tend to slow it down. More on that later in the video. David Allen of Getting Things Done fame calls it advanced common sense. Now, most of these are unspoken rules. Excellent written communication is a requirement for leadership roles. You get the idea. If you stick around to the end of the video, as bonus content, I will tell you one trick and one tool that saves me an incredible amount of time. Timestamps are in the description below, so if you'd like to jump to a certain section, feel free. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up so that the YouTube algorithm can show it to others who may find it valuable. Let's begin. So my first tip is to use titles in your subject line that people will open. So I know of many colleagues who are happy to swipe and delete emails on their phones and don't open emails unless the title explicitly mentions something that directly impacts them. Let me explain. Titles need to be relevant, like next steps from our meeting last week. Julia, your next steps. Precise, like 5 next steps for the group. Low effort, like response needed, confirm next steps. Writing good email is an art. I like the 5-sentence email method. Answer these 5 questions in your email. Who are you? What do you want? Why are you asking me? Why should I do what you're asking? And what is the next step? The last 2 questions are very commonly left unanswered, and one of the common reasons cold emails do not get a response. The US military uses a variation of this technique called the bluff technique, bottom line upfront. Emails are done to answer 5 things: who, what, where, when, and why. Here's an example from the Air Force. It's just a short email, just giving a directive. If you think doing this style of email at work might be too rude or terse, add a little bit of background to explain why a certain decision was made. One of my previous supervisors would read the first line in an email and give short responses. His secretary was essentially asking us to use the bluff technique de facto. We just hadn't given it a name back then and had to write separate emails for each question we needed to ask him, no later than in the first line. When doing email, think of purpose and use names when you can. If you're adding someone to a group, mention them at the top of the email and the reason they were included. For example, adding John Doe, what are your thoughts regarding this proposal? Something we see very commonly is an email that says, next step, we need to come up with a draft proposal. We can do better than this by building in accountability and sending a focused email, next step, at John Doe, please draft the proposal by Tuesday. At Jane, at Jack, please finalize proposal by Friday. Keep your emails short by using hyperlinks. Emails are not confidential. They're commonly used as evidence in courts. The only exception to this are the quality improvement and quality assurance related emails in a hospital setting, including those involving errors in patient care. These are protected from discovery in medical legal litigation. Other work emails can be obtained with just a simple request. Those who work in state and government institutions should know that their email communications are easily obtained by anyone under the public records request. I consider work communications essentially in the public domain for all practical purposes. So as much as possible, use personal email for your communications. Do not reply to all unless it's a group discussion. We live in a litigious society and helps to know that email communications from your personal email accounts, such as Gmail, are not easily obtained by lawyers serving a civil subpoena due to the Stored Communications Act. There are some exceptions to this rule, such as subpoena issued by law enforcement agencies. To increase your productivity and to keep your sanity, keep email closed unless you're working on it. It might be scary at first. It might even freak you out. But I think you'll realize that it's a nice break. Try it. But I know you're thinking, what if you miss something important? Well, that's what away reminders are for. Be realistic about expectations. Unless you're providing product email support, you do not have to be live on email. Set some limits. Make them known to your colleagues. Multitasking is a myth. No one can be an email ninja and do great work both at the same time. Schedule the important things, get them done, and do email no more than 2 to 3 times per day in batches. Inbox zero versus inbox unlimited. That's the big question. It comes down to your style. Some of us like to work towards a smaller inbox, while others don't look at emails that are not unread or flagged. I use spin, snooze, and rules to keep my Outlook email at work under control. I will link to that video above if you would like to see how I do it. So the next issue is when not to email. Preferentially, don't send emails for difficult issues and complex discussions. It's best to meet online or in person, but don't email when you have nothing to say and don't have emotional outbursts in your inbox. Don't ever use all caps. All caps means that you are screaming at the other person. If you're angry, draft an email, but don't send it, especially the same day. Sleep over it. The few emails over the years that had me really upset are the ones that I've never sent. Witty remarks and sarcasm do not translate well in email and can get you in really difficult situations. No complaining and gossiping on email. You've been warned. People will show your responses around and you will look really bad. Keep emails short, professional, and respectful, even when you disagree. I personally tend to slow down email on purpose. I respond to non-urgent emails within 48 hours. Over time, the number of urgent email requests have vanished. I also don't email on weekends, and on the occasions that I do, I use the send later function. For complex topics, think about them and talk on the phone if you have to type more than a few lines. If you can walk around the office and talk in person, that is so much better. You can say no and manage emotional response to your refusal so much better in person. You can use voice modulation to convey your emotions and explain your reasons in a kind and respectful manner. Keep a thread going in an email exchange and don't start new emails for the same topic. This drives your colleagues insane. Consider using Slack or Microsoft Teams for topics that come up periodically. Our inboxes are our personal workspace and others should not be unnecessarily invading them. You wouldn't show up to someone's house unannounced, but you can invade their inbox and seek their time without notice. If you see someone doing this and you don't want to tell them, send them this video. Drum roll, please. Never forward a forward a forward. You get the idea. Don't forward emails unnecessarily. Now, bonus content. I have an amazing emails folder at work and save and study emails that make an emotional connection. Holiday emails, gratitude, colleagues announcing departures, farewell emails, etc. It takes a long time to compose these emails, and some words just strike an emotional chord. I will often modify and use them to send similar emails. I love the productivity app Alfred and use its snippets features for templating emails. Anytime I find doing the same emails again, or even a portion of my emails, especially for my work as an editor of a radiology journal, I save it as a snippet. An editor essentially does 4 things: invite good articles, reject the bad ones, send requests for revisions, and accepts articles for publication. If you have 4 good email templates, you can manage a busy journal. Seriously. Okay, I'm revealing some trade secrets here. If you like this video, consider subscribing to the channel where I make content related to soft skills, productivity, creativity, finance, and wellness. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.